you have the title of the paragraph and your topic sentence. The first sentence should be very powerful and it should directly be related with the title, topic sentence. Okay, and then what do you have? You have supporting sentences. Supporting sentences. Supporting sentences are those sentences which follow the topic sentence and support the topic sentence. Supporting sentences. And what do you have at the end? You have the concluding sentences. Concluding sentence. Because you do not have scope to write many sentences, so I would say a concluding sentence in a paragraph. What does it do? The concluding sentence, it recapitulates. Okay, recapitulates. Recapitulates means sums up. It sums up the entire paragraph. This is how it's going to be. So your paragraph should carry topic sentence, supporting sentences, and the summing up of the entire paragraph. So it should be understood that a paragraph has a beginning, middle, and an end. Now you would say that everything has got a beginning, middle, and an end. Like, every film has a beginning, a middle, and an end. A novel has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So what is new about it? If you begin an essay, you are also going to end it. You are not leave it in between. There is a poet, who left his poems incomplete. Why? Because he was an opium addict. The poet was an opium addict. Coleridge, I am talking about. Coleridge, the one who has written The Ancient Mariner, and you read the poem Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Okay, so he was the one who would leave the poems incomplete because he was addicted to taking opium. Yeah. But yeah, my question was that you would ask that everything has got a beginning, every story has got a beginning, a middle, and an end. So what is new about it? When I say beginning, I'm writing it beginning, middle, and end. Beginning should be such that it should lead to the middle. Means there has to be a logical connection between the two, and middle should lead to the end. Means, like, say beginning, in the middle, this becomes the cause and this becomes the effect. And in the end, middle becomes the cause and end becomes the effect of the cause. So there has to be a cause and effect connection. I don't know whether you understood or not. I said that every paragraph should have a beginning, middle, and an end. And there has to be a logical connection, a kind of cause and effect connection. Cause and effect connection, do you know? Like, Aristotle talks about in his Poetics, and he calls it cause and effect sequence, cause and effect theory. Well, I can even show you with the help of a diagram here, so that you can understand it better and you do not forget it ever. So when we are talking about paragraph, we are talking about an ideal paragraph. What are we talking about? We are talking about an ideal paragraph. So first one is the topic sentence, okay, which you can call the beginning, okay, which you can call the beginning, and this beginning is in fact the introduction. This is the introduction. And after the beginning, after the topic sentence, what do you have? Your supporting sentences. Supporting sentences. Now, supporting sentences. Now, this is one. This is second supporting sentence for the second supporting sentence. This is third supporting sentence. This is fourth supporting sentence. what I mean to say, that there can be say 10 to 15 supporting sentences in a paragraph. And what do they make? They all make the body of the paragraph. What do they make? They all make the body of the paragraph, and this body is called is the middle part of the essay. It's the middle part of the essay. This is the effect of the beginning. And then towards the end, what do you have? You have the concluding sentence. Concluding sentence. And what does concluding sentence do? It recapitulates the entire paragraph. So this is the end. So you have beginning, you have middle, and you have end. So you have the cause and effect sequence as well. Is it okay? So this is the conclusion. It is conclusion. So my dear students, it is evident from the cause and effect sequence. I was talking about cause and effect sequence of an ideal paragraph that principal unity must not be overlooked at any cost whatsoever. Because we were talking about logical sequence. Logical sequence pertains to principle of unity. Okay, I'm writing it. This again is a must. Principle of unity. Principle of unity must not be overlooked at any cost whatsoever. It is, needless to say, desideratum. What is it? It is desideratum. Now I think it's a new word for you. Desideratum. Desideratum of a good paragraph. This principle of unity is a desideratum of a good paragraph. What do I mean by saying this? It is an essential quality, a prerequisite. Okay? It is needless to say, one should never introduce new and irrelevant ideas in the paragraph, howsoever interesting they might be. Okay? Howsoever interesting they might be. Besides, there should not be any repetition of the same point over and over again for the purpose of emphasis or any other reason for that matter. For variety, different types of sentences can be used in a paragraph, provided they support the main idea, because this has to be maintained throughout. Principle of unity has to be maintained throughout the paragraph. So you do not have scope to talk about irrelevant things. Okay? Because as far as paragraph is concerned, it carries only say 150 to 200 words. You do not have time to say distract from the main theme, the topic sentence. That is why I said principle of unity is a must. A good topic sentence we were talking about gives the intelligent reader a clear idea of the paragraph right in the beginning. While you were talking about the types of essays or types of paragraph, descriptive, narrative, reflective, and idiomatic, you suggested, one of you suggested that you can't judge a book by its cover. You cannot judge. This is a very nice topic. You cannot judge a book by its cover. Okay, sometimes the cover, the flap cover, okay, could be very attractive, very glossy, carrying a very nice topic also, but when you read, you find it worthless, trash. But this does not hold true, this topic, when we say that it has to have a nice topic sentence. Why? Because a good topic sentence gives an intelligent reader a clear idea of the paragraph right in the beginning. Nevertheless, the topic sentence may not always be the first sentence. Okay? Although I've been telling you that it comes in the beginning, or you say we begin with the topic sentence, that's okay. Most of the time we begin. It may occur anywhere. It may occur even in the end. Some in the conclusion they give the topic sentence. And it is also a good technique to end the paragraph or an essay very forcefully. So for the forceful or the emphatic ending, what do? They mention the topic sentence at the end. So it depends upon you. This is your style, because the style is the mirror of your personality, the way you write. So the style may vary, but I would suggest that it's better for you to give the topic sentence in the beginning. As for me, I give when I write a paragraph or an essay, I give it in the beginning, and that frames the introduction of the essay or a paragraph.